The next one we want to check out is the contact scoring. So for contact scoring, we can assign scores to contact based on their activities or based on how they are engaged with our content or based on the sources they are coming from or based on anything or maybe the contact detail or anything at all. So we can decide to add in a contact scoring. And as you can see, we have the scores already. So we can decide to edit this. This is the one for campaign settings, and we can decide to edit this. And when you click on edit, we can be able to edit all of this score. So we are saying that when a contact opens any campaign, we want to add in 10 points for that contact score. Or where there is a multiple open, we want to add in 20 points. And when there's a unique click, there's 20 points. And when they reply, if it's a positive reply, we want to add in a 5 points, and if it is a unique reply, I want to add in 15. So we can also do that if they opt in, we can do that if they tell a friend, and if they unsubscribe from our emails, we want to add in a negative point. So that means the points will be deducted from the total points that they currently have. So if a contact is at 50 points and they unsubscribe, that means we want to take out 15 points from their particular contact score. We can also do that for the negative reply. If they give in a negative reply, we want to also decide to deduct from their main contact score. So you can decide to edit this to whatever you want. You can make this 10, you can edit it whichever way you want, and when you're done, you click on save, and that is for the contact, the campaign settings. So for the contact clarification, you can decide that you want to check in for the most engaged, and you can decide to add in a particular total score for your most engaged. So you can decide that the most engaged contact should be accounts that are greater than 50. So if an account is greater than 50, we can then decide that we want to add that. So apart from the rules we just added for the email campaign rules, we can also decide to create a custom rule, and we can set in different criteria for the custom rule. So we can also decide that you want to check in by the comment count, want to check in by the open by countries. So if they're opening from a particular country and they're from a particular country, let's say if we get an open and they are from Nigeria, since we are in the country Nigeria. So if we get any open from Nigeria, we can say that we want to add in maybe 5 points or want to add in 10 points for this particular field. So we can name this, let's just name this from Nigeria. So that means if anybody is from Nigeria and these they open any of our they open any of our campaigns, then 10 points will be added. We can also decide to add in another criteria, and we can use the and or, whichever one works for you. And when you are done, you click on save. And when you click on save, sorry, and you can click on save, and that will be added for your custom rules. Remember that you can do this for various custom rules. You can also decide to add in a feed based scoring rule, and what that means is that you can add scores based on the custom fields. So we have the custom fields like the website, the LinkedIn handle, and all of those. We can decide to add in scoring based on all of those custom fields. So when you click on configure now, it is going to take you to the page where you can be able to configure this. So you can decide to name this scoring. So you can say something like basic field. So let's say something like basic field scoring, and that means we can say that we want to add in certain score for any of these settings we want to do now. So we can say if the contact email is not empty, we want to add in a score. So that means if the contact email is not empty, then that means we want to add in maybe 10 points, or we want to add in 20 points, or whichever points works for you. We can also say that if the contact source is from a particular place, we can also add in a point for that. So let's say we want to say that the contact score is not empty, or we want to say the contact score contains, and we can put in whatever you want to put in. So let's say the contact score, the contact source contains websites, and if it contains websites, we want to add in 10 points. We can also decide to add in multiple criteria for this page, and we can say after checking the contact source And we want to also check for the job title of the person. If the contact source is website and the job title also contains manager, we want to be able to assign 10 points to this particular contact. So we can decide to add manager here. So we are saying that if the contact source is website and the job title is manager, then we should add 10 points to this contact. So you click on create when you are done, and when you click on create, your custom fit scoring has been set up. Remember that you can do this for various of the custom fields you want to use. You can do this for every of your custom fields, even those ones coming from your you can also do this for those people coming from your the fields from your Zoho CRM. So you can also decide to check the score views in here, and we can say that we want to create a new view and we want to see contact whose score is maybe is equals to a particular number, or we want to see those people that are greater than or equals to a particular number. We can say we want to see those people that are less than or equals to 50, and if they are less than or equals to 50, we can name this code leads. So if their score is less than 50, that means they are code leads actually. And we can say that if the score is 50 in all time, or we can say for the past 7 days, or we can say maybe between a particular date, or we can say after a particular date. So we can say that if the score is 50 and the scoring period is after a particular date and it's still 50, then this view will be created. Or we can just use all time to see for every time, to see from when the contact has been created. So we can do this for particular mailing list, or we can do this for all mailing lists, and we can click on save when we are done, and that is going to create your view for you. And as you can see, we do not have any contacts here, so that is for that. And when you go back in here, you can also see where you can create. When you go back to your setup, you can also see where it is saying that should we allow contact score to go below 0. So when you click on this mark and you allow this, you are saying that you want contact to be able to have a minus digit. So that means it is possible for a contact to have minus digits. Remember that when we unsubscribe, it is a minus score, and also when they give in a negative reply, it is a minus score. So we can also decide, so for instance, if a contact has 20 points and they unsubscribe, that's going to take off 15 points and it's going to be left with 5. And if they're also giving a negative reply, which is 20 points, and they already have 5 points, that means they're going to have a negative of 15. So we are deciding that yes, we want to allow contact to have negative points. So you can also decide to reset to the original value. So all of what you've done will be deleted. And you can also decide to check in your reset history. So that is all for the contact scoring.